Hi, this is post-trauma period. We're going to talk about stuff.
This is our easiest post-trauma period. We haven't been traumatized too much so far.
Well, I think actually the game show was the trauma.
Yeah, the
game show.
Game show was the trauma.
I do have to sit through 40 minutes of that and edit the hell out of it. Because there's no way the whole thing's staying as it is.
Oh, it'd be cancer if it was. Let's see. First off, NFL All-Pro teams. Those just got released. Guys,
this doesn't matter. You're the...
Yes, our hostess from our Jeopardy game is trying to sneak around here. As I was saying, though, the NFL All-Pro teams just got released on Friday here. Me, personally, I have a couple bones to pick with them. I don't know if Cody and Tyler have had a chance to look over them. But I'll just read off kind of the highlights of the first and second teams here. Starting off, obviously, the first team, quarterback Aaron Rodgers, running back Derrick Henry. Then you got players like Travis Kelce, Devontae Adams, Diggs, Tyreek Hill. Don't really care about the offensive line because those are just kind of repeat guys. Sorry, offensive linemen. Defense, TJ Watt, Myles Garrett, Aaron Donald, DeForest Buckner. Linebackers, Fred Warner, Bobby Wags, Darius Leonard. Corners, Xavier Howard, Jalen Ramsey. And then Tyrann Mathieu, Minka Fitzpatrick, and Budda Baker. Second team, not quite as important, obviously, because they're the second team. They're the runner-ups. But you had Josh Allen.
Oh my God, Colin.
What you mean? It's just the All-Pro teams.
You know we could have Googled this.
I did Google it, and I just copy and pasted it.
Oh,
onto
okay.
I didn't sit there and type this out.
I thought you typed that.
Oh, no. Josh Allen, Patty Mahomes were the quarterbacks for the second team because they tied. Then you had Kamara. The tight end spot is actually vacant for the second team, which I will get into later. Receivers, there's a couple more on the second team than the first team. You had D-Hop, Justin Jefferson, who I believe really deserved it, Calvin Ridley, DK Metcalf, and Cole Beasley. Tackle, offensive line, don't care about. Defense, Khalil Mack, Zadarius Smith, Chris Jones, Cam Hayward, Devin White, Demario Davis, Levante David, Jair Alexander, Tre'Davious White, and then Jamal Adams and Jesse Bates round out the second team. Now, anything that stands out to you guys right away? Anything? Anything at all?
Just don't say anything.
Perfect. Then I'll get into my points that I had to make, and you guys can go off that. My first one, DeAndre Hopkins should have been first team, and Tyreek Hill should have been second team. Yes, Tyreek Hill had a boatload of touchdowns. I believe, Tyreek had 15 touchdowns, and D-Hop only had 6. But in terms of receptions and yards, D-Hop had 115 receptions for 1,400 yards. Tyreek only had 87 receptions for 1,250 yards. In my mind, yes, obviously the Cardinals didn't make the playoffs, and the Chiefs were arguably the best team in the NFL. But I think overall, the Chiefs are a much better team than the Cardinals, and that's why Tyreek Hill had a lot of flexibility to get as many touchdowns as he did. So that's my first point. D-Hop should have been first team. Second point, and this is probably my biggest point that I'm going to make. They left the tight end spot vacant for the second team. They did not. Darren Waller, hands down, should have been at least second team All-Pro. No, they decided to leave it vacant.
I mean, because the first dude's a lot better than the other ones.
Okay, stat-wise, yes. Travis Kelce had.
I think their selection process is stupid, if anything.
True. Travis Kelce obviously had more yards and touchdowns than Darren Waller did, but Darren Waller actually had more receptions than Kelce. Kelce had, I think, basically 100 receptions. Darren Waller had 107 receptions. The disrespect to Darren Waller to leave the tight end spot vacant is just through the roof. If I was Darren Waller, I'd be pissed. Anything? No? Okay.
No, I just want to hear everything first.
Okay. My third point is Cole Beasley.
You can say the F word, it's fine.
I'm aware, but I have it in my notes. I just didn't want to say it. But Cole Beasley made the second team. Yes, he had a great season, And yes, Buffalo performed very well, but Cole Beasley making the second team over some other stud receivers, I don't see that. And let's move on here. Next point. This one's a little controversial because I see the reasons why they did it, but in my mind, Dalvin Cook should have made the second team over Alvin Kamara. Hands down, Derrick Henry, fantastic years, one of the best years for a running back ever. Hands down, a first teamer. But in my mind, Cook with the 1,500 yards should have been the second team running back. And my last point here is with the cornerbacks. One, I don't think Jalen Ramsey should have been first team. I don't think he had that great of a season. Yes, a lot of teams didn't throw his way, but that's the same way with a lot of top corners. And he should, in my mind, he should at least be second team, if maybe not even on one of the All-Pro teams. James Bradbury, though. James Bradbury with the Giants had a fantastic year, and I think he should have at least made second team.
Who?
Thank you. Thank you. James Bradbury had a fantastic year. He was top 5 in passes defended, pretty sure this year. James Bradbury should have made second team, and in my opinion, I would have either moved up Tre'Davious White or Jair Alexander to the first team. Either one of those guys, in my mind, could have, should have, would have been on the first team over Jalen Ramsey. Those are my bones to pick. Let's hear it from you people. The peanut gallery.
You want to start?
Go ahead.
I think, Tyler, you already said this, but obviously the selection process is just straight up flawed. This really just sounds like it was fan voted, if anything. Even looking at like Jamal Adams, statistically,
He missed like half the year.
yeah, I don't know how he's making all-pro teams. Yeah, everything you point out, yeah. I don't really agree with, I still think Tyreek had a fantastic year. And also, I'm sure it plays a factor into, contract discussions and perhaps bonuses.
Oh, it absolutely does.
But, how much, are players actually upset at it? Or, bummer,
I think the All-Pro selections matter a lot more than the Pro Bowl selections do.
Oh, yeah.
The
Pro Bowl is a joke.
Because, who was it? DeForest Buckner, who made the first team for defensive line, did not make the Pro Bowl. And there were a couple other players that...
Well, because that's fan voted.
Yeah, that's
True.
Not, at this point, it's not even surprising.
True.
Every year, it's just something else.
Yeah.
I just think part of me says that it shouldn't exist because it's going to be biased no matter what. Whoever's selecting it is going to have players that they just specifically like. And was there an explanation for why there's a vacant position?
Not that I could find,
Wait,
but
for tight end,
Yeah.
it's because Kelsey got all 50 first place votes, so nobody else
There was
voted for anybody else.
Yeah, that's right. He was a unanimous selection.
Which is just part of my thing of that's just a stupid selection.
The fact that even if he got all 50, just hold votes for the rest of the tight ends, just so somebody is there.
Well, right, that's what I'm saying. But I'm just saying, there's no argument for me that everyone shouldn't have voted for Kelsey first team.
Kelsey absolutely deserved to be a unanimous selection. One of the greatest seasons we've seen from a tight end. But the disrespect to all the other tight ends in the NFL by leaving it vacant.
Well, there was only a few.
Yeah, what do you mean all the other?
Well, Darren
They
Waller.
had
Darren
one
Waller
of the
mainly.
worst years in
True.
recent history.
True.
I don't know. I think I don't have too much to say about it just because I do think it's just a joke. I don't know.
It's a step up from the Pro Bowl, but not much.
Right. Who gets selection for the All-Pro? Who gets to pick?
Probably just beat writers for every
Yeah,
team.
exactly.
So
and they're going to be like, oh, I watched this guy all year.
Yeah.
He was great.
Yeah.
And then, boom.
Yeah.
I just don't think that's fair.
At least that's what I think. I don't know.
You're probably close to right, I would think. I don't know. For the NBA, it's a lot easier because it's a much smaller sample size, but I would say maybe like 25% of these guys I barely recognize.
You mean larger sample size?
Huh?
You mean larger sample size for the NBA?
No, well, I mean like smaller as in like there's less positions to select from.
True.
So that's what I mean. And then I'm saying like, granted, I bet these guys had great seasons, but I don't know all of them because I can't or I don't watch every single football game.
Well, part of the reason why I think, for example, the Cole Beasley thing that he makes second team is once again because different people view it as like there's 3 wide receivers, right? So they view it as like 2 outside and then 1 inside dude.
Oh, they're calling him like the number 1 slot?
Yeah, that's how some people vote it compared to. So it just doesn't make sense because some people are voting it 3 best wide receivers out there. Doesn't matter position.
There were 5 wide receivers on the second team, which means 3 of them tied.
Right. So there's no way Cole Beasley's even top 10 wide receivers at the position. In the slot, he's top 10. I don't think he's number 1 though. But I'm just saying like there's a reason why like it's just so chaotic is because people all just have a different way of voting.
Very nice opinions, Tyler. Very nice. Oh, that's about all I had for the All-Pro teams here. What should we move on to next? We want to talk about, since we're on the NFL topic, we want to move on to playoffs.
I think we should do Vikings first. Just do Vikings real quick, and then we can do playoffs. Tyler, if you want to like just start, like what's our off season and 2 to 3 year agenda? Like, okay, all right, screw it. Rebuild the Vikings right now. Rebuild them.
How to start?
Yeah, what's wrong, and how are we changing things?
Well,
because we're off season, theoretically these things could happen.
Well, definitely need to look at the offensive line still.
No, I don't want to hear that. That's obvious. I want to hear like
well,
the
if
tough
you
stuff.
If you want to rebuild, I think
I want to hear the tough stuff.
I think you should probably cut ties with quite a few coaches, including Zimmer.
Okay.
I don't care that they just signed him before the season.
What about GM?
I'd cut ties.
Spielen gone?
New. Because no.
Okay. Keep going.
If we're gonna rebuild, we might as well get a different culture. And clearly, the culture he's building is good, but it's not good enough.
Okay.
And so yeah, but Zimmer, don't care. Eat the money. I'd say the same thing about Cousins, but whatever.
What do you mean, whatever?
He could either stay nor go. I know he's not going to go. So
well, exactly. If you cut him, you're losing an absurd amount of money either way.
I mean, it's been done before though.
True, which is why I'd say if we're gonna rebuild, I'd just say cut him. But I think that we'll have a hard enough time.
Well, I'm not saying rebuild and be unsuccessful. Like, okay, we're gonna cut Cousins, and then what?
Well,
who's a guy that we're gonna go out and get? It could be college that we're gonna draft, or it could be like we're getting a guy. Come on, man, unprepared.
Well,
I don't have a specific quarterback that I'm.
Then why are we cutting Cousins?
Because he's not gonna cut it.
But there's no other substitute.
I'd rather just tank.
So this is my kind of take on the whole quarterback situation. I don't think we should cut Cousins because that is a.
That's not.
Here's my reason.
It's not a take. Of course, we shouldn't cut him.
Well, yeah, obviously.
There's no other substitutes
because that'd be eating a ton of money, just dead cap space right there. But what I do think is, if one of like the top 5 quarterbacks in the draft this year, which would be, who would be available at our spot? Like
Trey Lance.
He might be.
Zach, whatever.
Justin Fields.
I've heard talks about Justin Fields.
Zach, whatever the hell his name is going to go before Justin Fields. Can guarantee that. You know why? Because Dwayne Haskins is a bum.
True.
Well, yeah.
His draft stock fell after Dwayne went to the strip club. It's true. And I will start with this. This is way in advance, but name a good Ohio State quarterback. You can't. And don't say Joe Burrow because he was successful at LSU, not Ohio State. You can't. They just don't make good quarterbacks. So, therefore, I don't trust Justin Fields at all.
But back to the point I was making. If one of those top quarterbacks like Trey Lance, depending on how well he does at his combine, I can see his stock either he'll either be a top 5 quarterback if he does really well at the combine, or if he doesn't do so well, I could see him dropping to late first round. So Trey Lance could be there. Justin Fields, although I don't think Justin Fields is going to be there for us.
He won't.
But there's a possibility. I'd be okay with Mac Jones.
Mac Jones,
Yeah.
that's the one.
Mac Jones.
Okay.
Although
so I could have said those options, but I don't think we're gonna take them there.
I'd be okay
I'd
with
take Mac Jones over Trey Lance.
Yeah, I would too. I think he would fit the system here in Minnesota much better than Trey Lance. Who else? Kyle Trask. Kyle Trask would be would be the other one that I'd
still take Jones probably.
I would too. I think Mac Jones would probably even be my favorite pick out of them, but I think Mac Jones is kind of projected as a second round QB, if not later.
I've seen first round.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And QBs always go higher than
True.
they're supposed to.
The dude almost had a Heisman season.
Yeah. Okay.
Granted, he had
So if one of those guys is there,
amazing wide receivers.
I wouldn't be upset if we take them and just stash them until Cousins' contract is up.
I'd say if anything, you take them and put Cousins on a hot seat.
Yeah.
That I could see.
That could work too. What else would I do with the Vikings? I think defensively, as much as I hate to say it, I think it's time for Harrison Smith to move on.
Thank you.
I think it's time for Harrison Smith to move on.
It's been
I don't think we should re-sign Everson Griffin.
Did you see what came out yesterday?
About Kirk.
Yeah.
He hates him.
He says, I hate Kirk Cousins. Ask Zimmer who signed Kirk Cousins. All right, being real, Everson is going through something right now. There's no way an NFL free agent would intentionally dip his stock like that.
Yeah.
By coming out and trashing another NFL athlete, his stock just went probably here, boom, all the way down. Especially from a team that he really wanted to come back to.
Yeah.
I legitimately, Everson has a history of mental health issues, and that's completely fine. But he needs to be checked up on because he would not do that intentionally because that makes no sense as an NFL free agent. Yeah. I don't think we should re-sign him. I would have wanted to before what happened, but
we definitely shouldn't sign Anthony Harris. He needs to leave.
Anthony Harris needs to leave too. Anthony Barr. I think Anthony Barr needs to move on too.
Yeah,
he'd be a lower priority.
There's too much cap involved. Or he's recently signed. That was like,
was he?
He'd be like a lower priority.
True.
Anthony Harris is number one. If we sign him, that's terrible.
I think obviously if you get rid of Harrison Smith and Anthony Harris, you have a huge need at safety in the draft too, or you could address that in free agency.
Well,
but the thing is, with the secondary, I still think the secondary just needs time. They just need time. Rookies, a lot of times, especially in the secondary, have a hard time adjust. Like, you look at Jeff Okudah. Jeff Okudah did not have a great season in Detroit, and he was a top three pick. So, secondary especially, I think secondary just needs time. Like, a lot of these guys going into their sophomore years, like Dantzler and who's the other one? Gladney. I think they will be better their sophomore years than
Holden Hill. Oh wait,
yeah, maybe not him. Mike Hughes been a little disappointing. I thought he'd be better than
he's just injured.
Yeah, he's got the injury.
He also commits crimes.
Wow.
I think the secondary needs time. The defensive line, I'm 50-50 about because they play really well at times and they play awful at times.
What?
They had no pressure this year.
Colin, who was our leading sacker this year?
And wait,
question.
Guess who it was?
Infedible.
Yeah.
Wrong.
I don't know.
It was Ngakoue.
Oh, nice.
You can't be 50-50 on it because it's terrible.
And let me, I've also read quite a few places that Daniil Hunter wants out, which is terrible.
Yeah.
Another thing is, he's hurt all year.
Well, that's the first year he was hurt.
That could have also been a COVID kind of thing.
But you also have to think Michael Pierce too is another one that opted out for the entire season.
So he'll
he's
be
there, but he'll be back.
Yeah.
So, I'll go in on this now. Let's start with the defensive line because we just spoke about it. I don't see why Hunter would want out necessarily. I just don't see it. It could be possible, but
that's just what I've read.
I just don't know. I mean, especially when you're a defensive end, you can't really like chase success necessarily. Like even Khalil Mack plays for the Bears, who
are getting their butts whooped. Last time I checked, it's 14-3.
And they were in scoring position. The Saints were.
Okay. Either way, he plays for the Bears. It's not. I don't know. I mean,
no, it's 21-3 now.
Okay.
Yeah, they're getting their butts whooped.
Either way, I feel like defensive ends or defensive position players can't really chase like what they want. Daniil's getting paid here in Minnesota and getting played. So he's got national attention and money. What else do you want? So I don't know what that's happening.
I just heard he's unhappy.
Whatever, sure.
So
I mean, it could happen, and that would be terrible.
You just seen it for stars a lot more.
Also, the thing is, though, like if we trade him, we would get the bag.
Yeah.
We would get the bag because he's
but
young.
If we trade him, that means that we would have to go after a young quarterback because we're for sure getting 2 first-rounders for him.
You would hope.
Something along those lines.
You would really hope we would get 2 first-rounders for him.
Well, look at the Raiders. They didn't spend a first-round draft pick on. Well, they're stupid, but
they're not good though.
Well, yeah, but you know they got 2 draft picks for Khalil Mack, and they didn't get.
They didn't use them very well.
Well, like I said, they're not.
Damon
Daniil Hunter, I'd still be surprised if he didn't play for us next year. Michael Pierce is going to come back. That's going to be at least a force there, and I think he should be really good. We just need to add some sort of depth to that position. The other defensive end spot, Adenabo, really let us down. I remember he's pissed off when we signed when we traded for Ngakoue.
Yeah,
he's
I
really, bro? I'm still here. And then Ngakoue played, 3 or 4 games for us and had more pressures and sacks than Afedi did the entire year. It's really embarrassing. Personally, I did not watch a lot of the Vikings game because I worked Sundays for whatever reason. But I paid quite a bit of attention. Our linebackers are young. We have a young group coming up, I should say. No. Eric Wilson is a restricted free agent. Hopefully we re-sign him because, well, also Barr and Kendricks, they're hitting their 30s, so.
And they've also been very injury-prone recently.
Barr especially.
Kendricks even, though. I mean,
this whole year. Yeah, but I feel like Kendrick does everything, though. So it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, but it's tough blow.
The other thing is, I think Barr's past his prime. I think Eric Kendricks is in his prime right now because he was kind of. They both came out. They both came out in the same draft class, but I think Barr. Yeah, they did. Did they? Are you sure?
Yeah, we had Barr before we had Kendricks. We got Kendricks in the second round in 2016, I think.
I thought they played together at UCLA. Right?
They did, but they were different drafts.
Interesting.
They were roommates, but.
Well, regardless, I think Eric Kendricks hit his prime a lot later than Anthony Barr did, and I definitely see the downturn in Barr's production. Granted, he has been hurt, like we've been saying, but over the past couple seasons, I've seen the downturn in production from him.
Either way, we're young there, so I'm not entirely worried there. Same thing with cornerback. I agree with you. Secondary needs time to develop and really be replaced, and that's why I don't like the safety situation that we're in. You guys are saying get rid of him, but what else is going to be?
Not there? Harris. Harrison Smith, I'd keep on maybe for another year just because we don't have enough players there.
Well, the thing is, we don't have to re-sign Harrison because he's already under contract. Harris has to be re-signed.
Which we should not do.
Which we can, but the thing is, what's going to replace?
Anything that doesn't eat up that type of money.
True. Fair enough. I mean, our defense is a mess, so there's no player that I have personal attachments with. Offensive line, really basic to say. It sucks. But I think if we shore up that right guard position or left guard position, because Dakota Dozier is
awful,
the worst player ever. We put in Dakota Dozier. Drew.
I'm just kidding.
Drew
Samia is terrible.
Both of them are guards.
Really did not.
Ezra Cleveland looked good this year.
Yeah. But I think. They might do something weird this year. They might, even though Reef had a great year this year, they might cut Reef and then put Ezra towards his normal position, left tackle. Yeah. But the thing is, then we'd be down 2 guard positions. I don't know. It's a mess. I think they can figure it out. It doesn't seem too complicated because we have like 3 pretty good pieces. O'Neal, Cleveland.
Yeah, O'Neal's good.
Bradbury had a pretty good sophomore season. And then Reef, who knows? But left guard needs to be fixed. Skill positions, we're in a great place right now. Keep Thielen under contract.
Irv needs more snaps with Rudolph out. I mean,
Rudolph is a tough thing because it's such like a Minnesota thing, but
him and Irv and Conklin look good while Rudolph was out. They look good as a 1-2 punch as much as receiving and blocking wise.
Yeah,
I felt like.
But I don't get the Kirk hate. I get why it's frustrating, but I don't get why everyone's like we should cut him or we should trade him.
Both of those situations are impossible in my mind.
Yeah, but look at what he did this year.
True, he did not have a bad season.
I don't like looking at his stats. That's just pointless to me.
He does have a lot of garbage stats.
That's an understatement.
It will look like he threw for 3 touchdowns, but it would have been like a Dalvin carried game, right?
Yeah.
That's a lot of it. However, I do think it is important to look at the season as a whole rather than like by a 1 or 2 game sample because there are so many ups and downs in an NFL season.
It's just he never carried us to a win, I felt like.
True. I can see that.
He just doesn't do it over the span of the season. And I understand I understand the no replacements, which is why I don't even know who's free agents this upcoming year. That's why I couldn't tell you if we were to go look at somebody. But yeah, I mean, it's just tough.
Yeah, no, I mean,
they're just stuck.
I mean, I can't shut anyone down who doesn't like Kirk because I at times hate Kirk. But I'm just saying there is no replacement right now. There is no other option where we could get a for sure replacement. The way I think about it, if our defense was significantly better, which theoretically it should be next year, we finished 7-9 this year. You could reasonably expect 10-6 and hope and pray for a deep playoff run.
Right. Yep. But the thing was, we were losing games to the Cowboys. Mm-hmm. We were in games, we had to go to overtime with Jacksonville. It's those games, just put them out. Just put them out.
Yeah.
And it was halfway on the offense. Kirk had time with Dallas. They had a drive. They screwed it up. They just screwed it up. I mean, there's no other way to put it.
I mean, you can't always blame the player. I do think, just to finish off the whole Vikings thing is coaching staff, I do believe we need a change. I feel like that can do a lot more than people think to a team.
Yeah.
Well, you see it. You see it when they fire coaches in the middle of the year. They go on 3 or 4 game
they act
streaks.
Different. Mm-hmm. And I just think that it's probably time that the Vikings need that.
That's the other thing is I think if our defense is going to improve in the young guys, we need a new defensive coordinator. They didn't show any promise of what they were teaching these young kids out there.
I think the secondary improved.
Yeah, but it got better over the year.
But it still was. I mean,
it's suspect. Yeah, definitely.
Who do you think the Vikings should bring in for OC?
That's another problem. It's a revolving cycle. I mean, they can't get somebody to stay.
Exactly. What, six different offensive coordinators the last 6 years?
Well, yeah. Kirk Cousins has actually never had the same offensive coordinator 2 years in a row.
Yeah,
never in his life.
He literally backed Kubiak, and then the next week Kubiak was like, "All right, I'm gonna retire." He was like, "I'm really excited to have the same dude for the next year," and then he doesn't.
Nope, I'm out.
Yeah.
I do think if we bring anyone in, odds are it's gonna be Anthony Lynn. Because Anthony Lynn is just going to...
Please just don't let him, control
he's
the timeouts.
No, he won't.
Please don't let him. Because it's a disaster.
But,
I watched it.
I think he's literally just going to be all right, run the ball, pass
that's the other thing. That's the other thing. If it's under 2 minutes...
What? All right, you guys keep talking. This is going to go for a while.
Oh, boy.
Just... How long we got? 30?
We'll just edit it. Edit it out. Edit it out.
What do you mean we?
You.
Gibby, come here. Gibby, come here. Come here. Give me hugs.
Goodbye, phone.
Give me hugs.
Wake up, hoops.
Cassie, catch. I'll throw a weight at you.
Bro, stop. You're gonna pay for that.
Maybe you want a Nerf dart?
I thought you were gonna slap.
I was dancing for him.
Okay, do we have anything else to say about the Vikings?
Nope.
Okay, then we'll do NFL playoffs. Let's do this relatively quick.
Relatively quick.
Well, what's up?
All right, early predictions. Super Bowl. Tyler, go.
No, I don't want to do that because it's going to be Kansas City and somebody.
Nah, man, I'm picking the Bills. Bills, Packers, Super
That's
Bowl.
good for you.
It is. It is good for me. Bills, Packers. I believe it is
Well,
Josh
well,
Allen's year.
No. All right, well, you just gave it away. All right, well, just start it over. Do something.
We're going to talk about the NFL playoffs now.
Attaboy.
We've had, what happened Saturday? Tampa Bay won. We had Rams win. We
That was an
had
ugly game.
Bills win.
Saints are about to win.
Today, Saints are about to win. Ravens have already won. Who plays tonight?
Pittsburgh Browns.
Pittsburgh Browns. All right. Pittsburgh Browns. Who wins?
Browns.
It's Pittsburgh. I think if the Browns had Stefanski and some other players, they give them a heck of a chance, and I actually think they might upset them, but I just can't go.
I think Pittsburgh.
I don't trust Pittsburgh as well, say, but I think they're gonna win.
Yeah, I think Pittsburgh wins too. So we'll move to the next. So Pittsburgh advances.
So they play Bills. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Bills. Ravens play Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Packers play Rams. Bucks play Saints.
Bucks, Packers, and what did we say? Wow. Bills, Chiefs, probably.
So okay, fine. Bucks, Packers, Bills, Chiefs. What goes on?
I'm sticking with what I said earlier. Bills, Packers, Super Bowl, baby. Bills, Packers. It is Josh Allen's year, and Aaron Rodgers is the MVP of this season.
You know that Tampa Bay smacked Green Bay this year, though.
I'm aware,
Okay.
but Green Bay doesn't have to play Tampa Bay.
Yes,
Oh wait,
they do.
yeah, they do. Yeah, that's what I just said.
Yeah.
Nah, Aaron Rodgers got it. Aaron Rodgers got it.
Okay.
I think Green Bay is a much improved team from when they did play Week 6, but I think it'd be a back and forth game. And I hate to pick the Packers, but I'd probably say Packers.
The only concern I would have about a Bucks Packers game is Bakhtiari's out. He's out.
Well, if they
He's done.
create pressure, it's going to be yeah, because
And-
Aaron Jones will not run against them.
Exactly, and I mean, at that point, all you have is Devontae Adams. I would not trust Marquez Valdez-Scantling with the ball at all.
Really?
Like they shouldn't have trusted him for the entire season. Every game, he had an 80-yard touchdown
Aaron
that he
Rodgers
just
probably
dropped.
could have had 50 touchdowns. if
Oh,
not for him.
absolutely. He had 48.
Yeah.
No, then he would have definitely had 50.
He would have had like 55.
Yeah.
I really don't have anything to say about this because I think NFL is pretty fun in that it's not really predictable for what happens. I can guarantee what you guys are saying will be like the AFC NFC championship will not be it.
Probably.
I almost guarantee it. There'll be a surprise team within there.
Yeah.
I think.
I agree. I agree.
The AFC, it's not. It's gonna be Chiefs and it's
True.
gonna be Bills.
I
And it's
think
gonna
that-
be the Chiefs. There's nobody's come close to matching it. Even in the worst games the Chiefs played, Mahomes still pulls them out.
I mean, we've seen weirder things though. I mean,
Yeah, but
what was it? 2 years ago. I mean, granted, this was 2 years ago. Mahomes. They lost to the
but
bum
then
Indianapolis Colts.
They're a lot different now.
They're a lot different, but I'm just
I mean,
saying,
the
like,
defense is improved even.
you just can't really predict NFL. I mean, it seems relatively easy, but I don't think it is.
No, I don't think it is
It's,
either.
it's also
but
one game sample size.
That's what I was gonna say. Like when you compare the NFL and the NBA playoffs, NBA teams they play a 7-game series, so statistically there's a lot more. It evens out to where the better team is going to win more often because obviously you have that 7-game series. Say the lower seed snags a game or two, the higher seed team still has plenty of opportunities to make that up. In the NFL, it's one and done.
Mm-hmm.
So if the lower seed has a really good day and the higher seed has a really bad day, there you go.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with the reasoning, It's just I'm not betting against Mahomes.
No,
at this
I
point.
wouldn't, but I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised if anything else happened.
No, I'm sticking
Yeah, I
with
wouldn't be
Packers Bills Super Bowl.
surprised,
You hear it first,
but-
B&G. Packers Bills Super Bowl.
No,
It's happening.
No,
It's happening.
no.
It's happening.
No.
It's happening. I'm gonna speak it
You
into
said
existence.
this with the Packers last year, then they lost.
Did I say the? I didn't say
You
the
said Packers
were.
were going to the Super Bowl last year.
I don't think I did.
Yes, you did. And
Did
Cody
I?
and I were like, well, Cody for sure. He was like, they're the most overrated 13-3 team I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, I remember saying that.
And then they lost. So
No, I remember saying that.
yeah.
I don't know. I don't have too much to say about it, just because, like I said, it's too it's too volatile. We legitimately, maybe if Alex Smith played, we legitimately could have seen Washington beat Tampa Bay.
No, Heineke definitely would have played better than Alex Smith ever could have played.
Really?
Because he was hurt.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What else would you... If you look at Alex Smith's stats, the whole year, he didn't put up 253 yards and 2 touchdowns and a rushing.
I'm just saying we've seen weirder.
No.
Nick
He didn't-
Foles has won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, but I'm saying to you, he had multiple games where they were playing really well. He never played like Heineke played last night.
I don't know what to say. Let's talk NBA. I'm done with football.
NBA. We talking Timberwolves?
Yes.
Talking Timberwolves. The new holy Timberwolves fan here, number one fan. What are your
sorry, bro.
opinions so far of this season?
So,
I have not missed a single game, and I do not intend to, except I am right now.
Wait, it started?
Yeah, 6:30.
I
yeah,
thought
the
it was
Lakers
7.
are playing.
I thought it was 7. but-
No, it's 6:30. You guys highlight the season so far, and I'll cover it.
Awful. Garbage. Terrible. Disappointing. Unfortunate.
like every other season.
Yeah, basically every season Timberwolves have had.
Timberwolves start off hot. I love all the fans. They're going crazy. They're all like, "Oh, this is amazing! Look at us."
Would you classify a 2?
What is 7?
Yeah, I told you it was 7. Would you classify 2 games to start the season as hot?
Yes, because that's what we did last year,
I suppose.
and everyone was like, "Oh my god!"
Wait, no,
holy-"
I thought we were like 7-3.
Yeah, I thought last season we started off much better than we started this
Okay,
season off.
whatever. Still, there were so many people that once they were 2-0, they're like, "Oh my god, look at
Oh
us!"
my god. Regardless, holy crap, when Cat went out, it just shows how much we lean on him to win us games. Because without him, we have nothing. Because Nas Reed does not draw the attention of a defense that Carl Anthony Towns
You
would.
can't expect him to.
True, but
I mean, part of the problem is they're starting Ed Davis. I don't even know what he.
Don't start with that, David. I have something.
exactly. But
Oh, what do you
That-
mean? You don't like the front court of Ed Davis and Juancho?
no, that is my big
Might as well
point for the
start-
Timberwolves
Don't
season.
sleep on Juancho,
Might as well
bro.
start Jay Lehman again.
This previous offseason, I love Gerson Rosas. I think he's done a great job so far.
He's done he's made moves.
Exactly. He's made
made-
moves, and I
yeah.
think he's put the Timberwolves in a position to be successful.
Mm.
But, oh my God, why did we not sign any size? There are so many guards on the roster, like 6'4" and below, and we have Cat and Nas Reed are our only 2 7-footers.
And Ed Davis.
Ed Davis doesn't count. I guarantee you Ed Davis probably isn't even
Why is
7
he
feet
starting?
tall.
Why is he starting?
He shouldn't be.
Why is he starting?
He should not
I
be.
can answer that.
That's gonna be
So
Saunders.
I will start with one. You touched on it, and you touched on it. We need Cat so bad. We need him miserably bad. I told you this just offhandedly. D'Lo should not have been expected just to pick up the weight that was lost with Cat being gone. D'Lo just can't. I don't think he's ever just been a high volume scorer. He's been.
No, I think
you're
that's
in-
exactly what he has been. When he was in Brooklyn, there were no expectations for Brooklyn, so he could just do whatever he wanted. But here in Minnesota, hold on.
Well, but-
when he was in Brooklyn, they weren't expected to do well. He was
Well-
expected to be the number one guy, so that's what he did. He scored, and he scored, and he scored, and he scored.
Well, he was the number one guy, and I think it was reasonably okay, D'Lo is the best player on this team.
Yeah.
And when Cat was done, D'Lo was the best player on our team. And everyone was like, okay, D'Lo's just going to go off. We might be okay. We'll pick up one game. I do not think that was real to expect. D'Lo has never been that player and never will be that player. That being said, I think D'Lo is, what would you call him? Would you call him a 2?
Yes.
D'Lo's a great 2.
He was drafted as a shooting guard, and he should have stayed a shooting guard.
Well, he's turned into a point guard.
Exactly.
He's playing point guard for us.
I'll give it to him. He is a great in the pick and roll, absolutely fantastic in the pick and roll, but that's about it. He does not set up an offense very well, or at all. There are times he just doesn't do it.
Okay, I'm gonna keep going. Another player that everyone's sleeping on, Josh Okogie. Losing Josh Okogie has been so bad for us.
Absolutely.
We literally lost last night's game because Josh Okogie was not playing.
Why? Because DeMar cooked everyone on the roster.
Yeah, exactly. Okogie would be the only motherfucker on this team to not let that happen.
It was like DeMar pick and roll, switched on to somebody else, score, switched on to somebody else, score.
And that's one of the terrible things. I went into that game knowing like DeMar or Aldridge is gonna cook us. One of the two, because Aldridge would have had Cat regardless, but like DeMar, I knew was going to have a solid game. And look at the Spurs numbers; he's averaging under 20 points.
Yeah, I didn't.
This is not a high volume scorer, and he cooked us.
I didn't watch the game.
Okogie's not on the court.
Who did they start on DeMar DeRozan? Did they start Culver on him?
Most likely.
No, they had they had Malik. They had Malik on him.
Malik Beasley. Well, Malik Beasley for sure should not be guarding the best guard on the other team. Absolutely not. The number one guy on the other team should always go to Okogie, and losing him hurts that way because he is the best defender on the team. Mm-hmm. The number 2 player on the other team, in my eyes, should go to Culver. Has he been great defensively? No. Has he been bad defensively? No, he hasn't. Is he better than all the other guards at defense? Yes, in my opinion. And that's the thing. When you have Culver Culver struggles to guard the best player on the other team. That's evident when was it when they played the Lakers and I was watching? Regardless, Culver did not do well against the Lakers in my opinion. But
no one played good against the Lakers. That was the worst game of the year.
True.
No, that was the best game of the year.
True. But when Culver's in my eyes, when Culver's guarding like the number 2 player on the team, it gives him a lot more confidence because he can play better defense on a number 2 than he can on number 1. And if needed, with that newfound confidence from guarding that number 2, he can switch on to the number 1 every once in a while when Okogie needs a break. But I think that's the dynamic that we need to have this season. Is it's going to be Culver and Okogie are going to be our defensive wings.
Okay. I'm going to move past that. We can get into defense. But I do want to touch on the Ed Davis thing. It is either start Ed Davis or play the smallest ball possible.
Which I think they should have done.
I don't think so because
we were getting, as far as size yesterday, we were getting smacked on.
But he didn't do anything in there. You look at his stats. What else? What was he doing? It's the same thing with when they were starting Jake Layman.
Oh, I don't like that Ed Davis is in there, and I prefer the small ball. But the thing is, that's not going to win us games either.
I know, but if he can't perform, his stats, he should be having more rebounds if he's the center, and they're starting him as center. He shouldn't have 4 rebounds.
The problem I have with at least the Timberwolves playing small ball is that all of our guards are streaky shooters. I would classify them all as streaky shooters. Malik Beasley, definitely. D'Angelo Russell can be very streaky.
No, I would not call D'Lo streaky.
He can be streaky.
I wouldn't. But I don't think so.
The game against the Washington Wizards, arguably the other worst team in the NBA, they dominated the Timberwolves on the inside. Rui Hachimura, who's 6'9", maybe 6'10". Yeah. Why did we have Malik Beasley on him? We had Malik Beasley, who's 6'4" on him.
So go sign someone.
Exactly. For the love of God, in my eyes, the biggest problem with the Timberwolves right now is there is no size outside of Cat. There's none.
Just go sign someone that can rebound the ball. I don't care. They don't even have to do anything else.
I think Ed Davis rebounds the ball though. He just
no, he clearly doesn't.
Ed Davis, when the games I've watched and Ed Davis has played, he doesn't look like he wants to be out there.
There's a difference between, like, I mean, you just have to look at his stats. He's got like 4. Every time I look at him, he's got like 4 rebounds.
Well,
I mean, come on.
He's not playing significant minutes. That's why I don't
Still.
hate it. We're working with what we got.
It's not much.
Right, it's not much. One thing that really
big.
Right. What really bothers me is Ed Davis is not athletic and he can't shoot. Nas Reed I really enjoy because
he's played great so far.
So he's a good backup.
Exactly.
To get in there and give a different style. They need an athletic big that can just rebound with the first unit. Then the second unit can be more of Nas with somebody else.
Well, if we just had a second Nas, that'd be awesome. If we had a second Nas who could occasionally knock down a 3 and is just going to play like a physical like brick wall, that would be awesome. But Wancho is too small to play the 5.
Mm-hmm.
Jarrett Vanderbilt, we've been getting plenty of time, and he's been playing great, but he cannot defend a 5.
True.
He's
a
too
4.
small.
Yeah.
Like his weight is too small for a 5.
So we have no solution at the 5. We literally, Cat coming in was such a help. Gave Nas Reed time to like actually be like, okay, I don't have to get bodied every second of my life.
This is a point I want to make. With Cat and Nas, I think we're fine with the 5 position. It's the 4 position and the 3 position that we really have to worry about. And I don't remember if we made a podcast on the NBA offseason. We might have. I don't remember. But in my mind, I think Jeremy Grant, who signed with the Detroit Pistons, should have been our number 1 option.
Oh my god, dude. This is where I walk off. I've been hyping this man up for so many months.
I am too.
No, nobody believed me at this table.
Maybe you did.
Maybe you did a little
for sure
bit.
did, because I know he balled out for the
But
Nuggets.
you were like, no, you can't pay him that much money.
You were the hater on it.
Yeah.
I remember. I physically remember in my mind
I've
being
always
like,
said this dude's a baller.
they need to sign.
You look
Jeremy
at
Grant.
you look at his size. Awesome. He's
Exactly.
like 6'8" and can defend multiple positions.
He even for being
So
6'8",
why are you guys yelling at me?
Because
you're the one that said no.
You were like, no, don't sign that dude.
No, he for his size, he could defend a smaller 5 in my mind. Maybe not like
From time to time, sure.
exactly.
Yeah.
If you needed him to step, if you were going to play the small ball lineup, he could play the 5, no problem. And he's been balling out in Detroit.
Well, balling out is an understatement. He's performing like an all-star this year almost.
Yeah.
I mean, he's dropping 30 almost every other game.
Exactly. And the great thing about him is you get the offensive and defensive versatility.
Yeah.
Because offense, he could play a 3, he could play a 4, he could play a 5, he could play a 2 from time to time. Maybe not your typical.
I mean, he can handle the
shooting guard.
ball.
Exactly. He can handle the ball. He can drive, and he plays physical.
Yeah.
That's his fault for going to Detroit, though. He should have been like, nah, bring me to Minnesota, not Detroit.
Well, I mean, neither. I mean, they're both not ideal landing locations.
Yeah, well.
But that's what he wanted. He wanted A, to get paid, which Denver was going to do, but B, he wanted a bigger role in
And
his
he's
system, which
definitely
is
stepped into the bigger role.
Exactly.
There was people that doubted if he could do it.
Oh, he did it.
Yeah,
At least so far, he did it.
Yeah.
We're gonna move on from that because that's in the past. We can't address that. Let's address the future.
Trade for him.
No.
Do it. I say do it.
Okay, fine.
First round pick and
Yeah,
somebody
he's good.
do it.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to excuse the. What's our record? 2-7.
2-7.
I want to excuse the last 9 games because here's why. We're such a young team and we have such a weird dynamic going on. Once Cat went down, everyone was like, I need to step up because Cat's going down. And there was too many hands in the pot trying to grab.
I agree.
Colin, I want to forgive. After the first 2 games, I was high on Malik, but Malik and Anthony Edwards are the 2 worst players as far as they're like, give me the goal, give me the points. They are.
Their attitudes go as their buckets.
Exactly.
Well.
Yeah, no. They do.
I see it more, a lot more in Malik Beasley than I do in Anthony Edwards.
Yeah.
Anthony Edwards is a rookie.
And I think it's because he's a rookie.
Exactly.
I think if he continues to not be able to get points in some games, though, he'll turn the switch off. I feel like as a rookie, he's still going as hard as possible, but he needs to like flip the switch more. I feel like, as in like just
Mo-
affect the play a little bit more. I love that he can score the ball like crazy.
Malik Beasley though, sometimes just out of control in my mind. I saw the highlight, and yes, he made the shot, but this man's out here pulling up from the logo. Yes, he made it. Awesome. But 9.9 times out of 10, that is the worst shot he could ever take.
But I hate to do it. And it's something wrong that Malik and Anthony need to, like, address. But they were like, cat's out. No one else is scoring. I can score. I'll shoot it from half court. If you're not going to do it, I'll do it. So I'm excusing the past 7 games, our 7-game losing streak. I'm excusing all of them. It pisses me off, but I have to excuse it. And then other players were like, the people that should be role players, like Culver. Culver was immediately like, oh, you're averaging 10 points a game? Cat's out? Oh, you should be scoring like 20 now. Culver's not going to do that. Culver is a role player right now. I just feel like there's so much confusion going on. And that leads me into like a major point. Saunders needs to be gone now.
I agree.
Saunders had, this is his 3rd year in the league as a head coach. Third kind of. Saunders could have done the right thing and really calmed down his players and said, hey, we're missing Cat and we're going to hurt. And here's how we'll address it. But the team was it was literally a pickup league team. We just went out onto the court, played basketball for 48 minutes, and left. There was nothing more, nothing less. I'm calling it as this. Ryan Saunders is a sacrificial lamb. He needs to be sacrificed for this team to advance. I appreciate what Saunders has done for our youth. I'm sure he has a great relationship with every one of the players.
Who are you thinking for replacements off the top of your head?
No clue. But somebody... Oh, you know who's Van Gundy for the Pelicans?
Oh,
Stan. Someone like him. Someone who has experience with just developing players into something larger.
Dom Thibodeau.
Absolutely.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, but look what he's done with the Knicks, bro.
Don't give me. He's changed that Knicks organization around.
No, he hasn't. But they're a mature team, like a maturer team.
True, because
they're much more controlled.
But that's just who Tibbs is. Tibbs is a extremely controlling coach.
Right. We need to find that in between, because right now Saunders is just letting players play.
I mean, are you thinking someone from college basketball?
Originally, I thought college basketball.
There's a lot of good assistants in the NBA that chances.
We could do something like pick from the Lakers. We could do like a Jason Kidd sort of thing. He's got a backup spot or assistant coach on the Lakers.
Nothing but great.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. He has experience coaching as well, a former player, so he understands the game. That makes just a lot of sense to me to like really push these players to a next level. We have 2 to 3 years. If this team stay together, we'd be a playoff team, no doubt. 2 to 3 years.
I agree.
Give it time. Including all the development that will go on. 2 to 3 years.
The development that I would say
that we would expect.
Yeah, that I see in my head, I would say we're playoff.
I'm not saying it's going to turn out that way.
Yeah.
But 2 to 3 years, this team's going to be, and we're not going to retain all these players.
Yeah.
Because they're going to want contracts.
The problem is, I mean,
God, this gets me so.
The Timberwolves, they need to be better in free agency. I mean, they're not going to attract big stars, so they need to have a better second unit. For a few years now, they've had a crap second unit. It's just horrible. I mean, Rubio's a nice ad for the second unit.
Rubio has been terrible.
Yes, but the concept of trading for him for the second unit was the right decision compared to some of the guys like, I hate to say it again, but like signing Jake Layman. That's not That's not a signing for the second unit that you want to see out of your team.
That's a signing for the reserve unit.
No, I think. All right,
Hold
legitimately.
on. I want to make a point on Rubio here. When Rubio was here before, he was much more of a leader, in my opinion.
I'm already gonna take this down. This is terrible.
What do you mean? When Rubio was here, he was the point guard. He was the guy that set up the offense. He was trusted with the ball in his hands every time. Now that he's here and he's older, he's had experience on other teams, I think he's trying to be too much of a mentor at times on the court. I think he needs, especially when he's out there with a second unit, I think he just needs to snap on some people and tell them, you need to do this and you need to do it right.
I mean, I haven't been watching, so I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what he's
doing
with the second unit.
In my opinion, yes, he hasn't been shooting the ball very well, but in my opinion, that's why he's played so well. He's trying to be too much of a mentor on the court.
I mean, what's he doing different this year that he was not doing last year? Like, how was he succeeding last year with the Suns?
I told you guys this before. You can't make shit look pretty. You can't.
You can put a flower on it.
Yeah, you can, but at the end of the day, what is it?
Shit.
Yeah, it's shit.
Shit with a flower.
Cat played the final minutes last night, and Rubio played the final minutes last night, and he did a great job. He did a really good job. And to the mentoring point, which I actually really appreciate, when Anthony Edwards lost us that game, the first one talking to him.
I really
it
did
was
like
Rubio right away.
And I liked it.
It wasn't like, you fucking idiot, you know?
Well,
I liked Edwards' response to Rubio's.
Yeah, he wasn't
like, he didn't, brush it off. He just like, he listened to him and then he shook his head like, yeah, okay, I get it.
Going back on my point, I don't want to make it seem like Rubio obviously all the time should be, just snapping on people. I think there's a time to be that mentor on the court, like when Edwards cost us the game. I don't think like he's a
jeez.
Well, obviously Edwards is already down on himself enough, so there's.
Edwards lost us that game. That's legit.
There was other opportunities.
Well, there was, but I mean, down 3, you have the last possession.
You could say that about any basketball. There's always opportunities earlier in the game, but going back on my point, there's times for Rubio to be a mentor on the court, and then there's times for him to be a leader on the court where he needs to. It's no BS. This is how it needs to be, and this is how we're gonna play. And then there's times like when Edwards cost us the game. He's already down on himself enough. That's when Rubio needs to step in and be like, "Hey, it's gonna be okay. We'll come back."
Right, but I feel like sometimes our team, like I said, I haven't been watching the bench unit.
It's almost time. We're almost there. We'll be wrapping this up shortly.
I feel like Rubio, I mean, what is he going to tell? I feel like some of our players can't do the things that he's going to tell them to do.
True. But once again, everything just comes with time, and that's the excuse for everything. Everything comes with time.
Okay, now I'm going to say my bit on Rubio. I already said you can't make shit look pretty. Rubio is probably well-versed enough to know that he is doing what he can right now. He's doing what he can. I don't think he needs to step up at all, because if you're saying like he needs to score more, he needs to score more on a nightly basis, but he still shouldn't be taking more shots. His assists, I'm pretty sure he had 8 last night, 10 the game before. He's dishing the ball the best he can. There's just so much going around, like he can't control it to his best potential. Now this isn't to like excuse that Rubio isn't playing the way that he should be playing, because he's not playing at his best. But I'm just saying like he just doesn't have consistency to where he can be comfortable and really design the offense or defense to how he wants it to be. I don't know. It's been another rough ride. It's sad. I feel like every year I'm saying 2 to 3 years. 2 to 3 years. 2 to 3 years. And I don't see a path out of it right now. I just don't. There's things that I see that we should do, but leading it to become a winning organization, I just don't.
It's okay. The way they're headed, they might get Jalen Suggs, top 5 pick.
I know.
What?
Isn't that another guard?
Yeah.
I'd take him. Anyways,
He could be the point guard.
Yeah.
Because he's significantly a much better point guard than D'Angelo Russell would be.
Yeah, he can really throw the ball around.
Did you see that dime pass he had? Please tell me you saw it.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
But then the dude missed.
Yeah.
All right.
Sad.
Let's finish this up. Let's talk about NBA. Any surprises right now? We're only like 9-10 games into the season. Surprise teams, surprise players.
I mean, it's not really. I wouldn't say it's a surprise team because once the Suns added Chris Paul, people expected them to look
this
good. Yeah, they looked really, really good.
Their record isn't fantastic though.
They're third in the West.
Yeah, what three losses?
Yeah, 6-3. The Lakers are 7-3. Clippers are 7-3.
Yeah.
The Suns have looked.
Maybe the Suns are
terrific.
7-3 too now.
I'm not in on the Suns yet. They'll make the playoffs and they'll be pretty good, but I'm not saying they're going to be a terrific team. No way. Nah.
What else? Tatum and Brown have looked really good.
The Nuggets looking awful to start the year has been interesting. Yeah. I mean, they're like 3-5 or 3-4 or something.
Well, that is partly like Jamal Murray needs to wake up and realize like the season started.
You know, you'd hope he can.
He just needs some of that.
Oh, jeez.
You know. Honestly, I've been so focused on the Timberwolves that I haven't seen too much. My boy Steph Curry. Steph Curry is probably like maybe my favorite player.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
When did that happen?
Yeah, when did that happen?
Well, I work at Under Armour. Two, I actually recently watched a little series on how he changed the game of basketball. And
I mean, anybody could see that he changed the game. Look at the way the game is played.
Well,
now.
right, but it's just like the progression of Steph Curry has also been kind of cool. Like, I'm never gonna sleep on any draft pick until 5 to 6 years. Promise you now. Because Steph Curry didn't pop off until like 2013.
Yeah.
And you know, after like a year, I'm already tired of Culver. Like, he could be the next Steph Curry, like literally.
Oh, Culver will not be the next Steph Curry.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, just that weird ass development of like, oh, I'm good. I don't. Steph has been fun to watch. I don't think the Warriors will be any good this year because Klay's out. But it's been fun, and Steph, even though they're sleeping on you, greatness respects greatness. I'm a baller. I'll buy your shoes. I promise. I get 50% off.
Would add that in.
Can't afford them full price.
Anything other than that?
What about the 76ers?
Who cares? They have Doc Rivers. They're going to lose in the playoffs. It don't matter.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
I've seen weird things where they think Joel Embiid is the first 10 game of the season MVP.
Absolutely not.
Maybe that's made up, but I saw it was MVP.
I haven't been watching him. I don't even know his stats. Clearly hasn't made enough of a difference to maybe be like anything.
I
don't feel
Bradley
any different.
Beal on the 2-7 Wizards. I'd take him over Embiid.
Yeah.
For MVP, even though he's on like.
Hey, don't sleep on the Wizards. Westbrook's been out.
What?
No.
When I was watching the Timberwolves Wizards game, they were talking about this. The Wizards are better than 2-7. The Wizards are better than 2-7. Like Cody said, Westbrook has been hurt, and they've had a very tough schedule to start.
Did you hear what Bradley Beal said? They can't guard a parked car.
They can't guard a parked car. Still,
that's gonna change when Russ is in there, though.
Exactly.
I feel like Russ is he's a facilitator. He'll get on dudes. Like, you really think Bradley Beal is gonna get on dudes? Yeah.
Defense.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about facilitating the offense.
No.
Bradley Beal can drop 60.
I think
any night.
I think once Russ is in there, he will be able to further correct these young guys.
I hope somebody helps Bradley Beal because I feel bad for him.
Russ is out.
Russ will do it.
They haven't, to your point, Tyler, and Bradley Beal's point, they haven't had great inside play. Although it's
not getting any better.
It's not getting any better.
Center just
and the other
ACL.
Thomas Bryant tore his ACL.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. And then the other thing is, I really think they've been. Yes, he is. I'd take Thomas Bryant on our team. in my mind, they've really misused the rookie Denny Abdia, however you say his last name. I think they've really misused him so far in the season. He definitely deserves more minutes.
He's stupid. I hate him.
And he definitely should.
Did we draft him?
No.
Oh. Who's the guy that we drafted?
He's overseas.
The white guy?
Yeah.
We won't see him
He was
for a while.
He was a second round dude. Denny Abdia was like the 7th pick.
No. He was we drafted him first round and a first round.
Oh, that's right.
But nobody knows his name. He won't be over here for at least another year. So.
Yeah. But they've been using Denny Abdia. Screw it. They've been using him on the inside a lot. He's not an inside player.
Why
he's
are we
an
talking
he's
about
an
the
outside player.
Wizards, dude?
It's over. We're done.
No, I want one last thing. I would give Tyler his time for the Lakers. Say what you want about the Lakers, and then I'm going to crush everything about it.
Lakers winning the championship?
Oh yeah, of course.
I think
there's
they're the
nothing.
favorites.
There's nothing that has changed my mind. I mean, if anything, they're just cruising right now. I mean, they haven't been playing their best basketball, but there's nothing to say that.
They proved in the bubble that they don't need to play their best basketball until it matters.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you have anything else to say?
I mean, they look good. They don't look. I mean, like I said, they look like they're just coasting through games, just getting to the end. I've watched every game. They just play. Fourth quarter,
Go time.
win. Then it's over. I'm like, okay.
The Lakers suck. As in, I don't like them because they're good. They suck in that way. One, Montrezl Harrell.
Oh
I
my
hate-
god, dude. You hate this dude for all the wrong reasons.
I hate him too.
Why do you hate him? This man just hates him because he switched teams.
That's kind of the same reason. That's the reason I hate him.
And then
Let the Clippers needed to have more respect for the man. I mean, clearly they just treated him like
that's
trash.
shaking like crazy. Okay. Montrezl Harrell of 30 on the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves. Probably the worst team in the league. Here's the basket. Here's Montrezl Harrell. 30 of the Timberwolves.
Yes, sir. Bringing the energy.
To a bunch of reserves
Yes,
that are
sir.
just playing
Never
for fun.
Listen,
For
man.
fun.
There's a difference between championship teams and non. He's meant to just bring energy every day. It don't matter
You
if
need
they're
to bring
scrubs or
energy
not.
against a G League team.
Yes,
Yeah, he's a bum.
he enjoys it.
Montrezl Harrell, I hate. He's stupid.
I literally hope he hits the
He's-
game winner against the Timberwolves next game they play.
He probably will.
You know why?
Why?
Because Colin hates Kyle Kuzma, and guess what Kyle Kuzma did to the Timberwolves?
Well, that
lit
definitely,
him
it definitely
up.
wasn't
He
a
lit
game
him
winner,
up.
that's for sure.
Oh, it certainly got him up 20 points in
well,
the
that's
first quarter.
what I'm not saying. It didn't like crush our souls because like he just booty banged us. That was his fault. I respect Kyle Kuzma. I like him.
He still doesn't.
I still don't.
You just don't
I
have bad
don't.
luck.
Montrezl Harrell, I just hate because he is literally taking contract cuts to play for a championship team, and he shows off against the worst basic Colin. If you were like an inch taller, he could do the exact same thing.
Who?
Him, he could do the exact same dunk that Montrezl Harrell.
No.
Montrezl Harrell
No.
literally did this.
Maybe
No.
a couple years ago.
You need a couple inches
Okay,
because
fine.
he's doing standing jumps.
I could
Fine.
standing dunk.
3 inches.
Two hand?
Not. I could one hand standing dunk.
He did this. Whoa! That is the most.
Like I said, you give me 2 inches and a couple years ago, I probably could have done that.
Dude,
No,
I'm
it-
enjoying this so much right now.
It was literally the pettiest thing ever. That's literally, Colin, if you're playing, you're playing the BLS like 8th grade team, and you're smacking on them. You're going,
Colin
oh!
probably would do that.
I did do that.
Yeah, okay, so.
But that's just because I knew them all.
Right. Well, that's the level you are. You're at the same level, Montrez. Yeah. That's low. Montrez, stupid.
Dennis looks really nice.
Dennis
He's a
does look
nice
nice.
piece to
I like
their-
that. I
to their
like
team.
Dennis. I have no problems with Dennis.
Okay.
He's nice.
Okay, I'm not done saying that the Lakers pissed me off.
All right, keep
God.
going.
Lakers are perhaps, I'm not saying for sure, but perhaps the best team the NBA has ever seen.
I would not go that far.
Oh, in recent history, yes, I think so.
I think the Warriors
No,
team was better.
I don't think so.
I do.
I don't.
I strongly agree with my
Okay.
opinion.
One, I'm also realizing.
No offense, Tyler. No offense. But I think the Warriors with Kevin Durant with Curry, Clay, Durant, Draymond. I think that was the best basketball team we've seen in a very long time.
I think you could argue that, but as far as a power two, it's the best power two that we've ever seen.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree.
And I think that is significantly unfair.
AD's definitely LeBron's best teammate by far. I mean, he's blows past Kyrie for sure, and he's past Wade, and Wade even said it.
AD is a top 5 player in the NBA.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I just think it's so just.
We're starting to watch again.
I mean,
we are starting Ed Davis. Why is Towns not starting? No, he's not playing.
Live reactions here, people. Live reactions. It's all right.
I actually had hope we'd win this game because DeMar DeRozan isn't playing. But who's gonna guard Aldridge? Aldridge is gonna drop like 28 on us.
oh yeah,
Oh, I'd say 35.
without even jumping 2 inches.
Right, he's gonna go. I don't know. The more and more I think about it, the more and more just like impossible it will be to stop.
And the 88, honestly, he's by far just coasting to start this year. I mean, he's spoke after games that he's just not playing his best basketball yet.
I think AD
this season.
I was looking at rankings. People have like Jokic ahead of him.
Oh.
I think AD is better than Jokic.
Oh my
God, absolutely.
It's just I've said it before, but Lakers are just Warriors 2.0. And it's just going to be Lakers and who?
God, Davis lost the tip.
No, you don't have to answer it. It's just Lakers and who.
In the West, it could be anyone at this point. I mean,
what do you mean in the West? The Lakers are going to win the West. I'm talking about East.
Oh, you're talking about the East?
Yeah, I'm talking about the championship because
I'd say the Celtics are probably the favorite right now.
I don't care who it is.
I'm
glad
you didn't say the Nets. I think the Nets have a good team, but I don't even know what's going on, and it's already 10. It's only 10 games in. I mean, Kyrie's just missing games again. I mean, Durant. I think he just had.
Davis got it done, Cody. Be proud of him.
My God, MVP.
Be proud. All right, we'll finish this up. Peace out, BNG.